Hello, hello, hello. I have finally set myself up. I decided to sit on that little bench that I had saw earlier. I have my matcha, I have my cards, and I have my notes. So took notes. There's a B. I took notes so that I do not forget what I am talking about. But I wanted to, before I get into, let me take a sip. Okay, so make it pretty. Before I get into um, my notes and what I wanted to discuss, I wanted to pull some cards. So set the intentions, pull some cards. You probably can't see it, but there's like right here in front, I have some incense burning to kind of like calm me, ground me, and set the energy right now. It's already so beautiful here in the garden. I don't know if you can hear the birds, but like there's birds chirping, there's people walking around, and it's just really good energy. Everything is just green and it's beautiful and it's happy, and that just makes me so happy. So, okay, so let's pull cards. So, what I'm gonna do is I have two decks. So, I have my deck that I created, Rainbow in my cards, and then I have the deck that started it all, that inspired me. This is the Wild Offering Oracle deck, and it's by, I think it's Tasha Silver, or maybe Tosha Silver. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name, Miss Silver. But so I got this deck from a very beautiful um, spiritual, mystical shop that was in California, in the Bay Area, when I used to live out there. And this shop was like so dreamy. And I saw this deck and I had to get it. And that was literally like maybe 6, 7 years ago. And no matter where I go, I take this deck with me. I love, what I love about this deck is that it infuses spirituality with like, I guess, the existence of God. And so I love that. I love the infusion of like the faith that I grew up with, along with my faith now. And so I love this deck. So I'm going to pull from both decks. And like I said, this deck inspired me to create my own decks. And yes, okay. So I'm going to pull from my deck first. I'm just going to shuffle it and pull. And these are both Oracle. I am not a tarot reader at all. Um, I am intuitive. I am an empath, but I am not a tarot reader. And so I don't purchase tarot decks, but I do purchase oracle decks. And oracle decks essentially are like messages that affirm where you're going, what you need to be doing, give you encouragement. And so that's what I really like about them. Um, they're just like, I don't know, messages, like little mystical, magical messages. Okay. So I'm going to stop there and I'm going to, I think I'm going to pull. Um, I'm just gonna move this out of the shot. So I'm gonna keep going because I usually don't pull until I feel like it. And I'm gonna pull this one. I'm gonna do three. I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna do this one because that one's kind of looking out at me. Okay, so the messages that we have are: I am limitless. I love that one. I am limitless. Okay. And then this message, I can't see it. Hold on. Opportunities flow to me abundantly. And then our last message is, darling, you are a star. Okay. So that was from my deck, my Oracle deck, and this is the ethereal deck that I have in my shop, rainbowinmyclouds.com. And then this one, Tasha or Tosha Silver. Like I said, I love it because, like, look at it. It's like the Buddhist, I think it's a deity or god or goddess, forgot what their name is. I always forget what their name is, but like it has this, and then it infuses like kind of sort of like I guess religion, but not really. It's not religion. It talks about God. So I don't really know what to define that as, but I just love that it just infuses everything together because for me, that is that falls in line with my beliefs, my current beliefs, and like everything is everything. It's like it's all infused, and people try to separate God and make God into like this particular thing that only they understand. I'm just gonna take out that one. Oh, there's a bug on my phone, and I'm just gonna shuffle these, and I'm gonna do three again. Actually, I think I'm just gonna do one because these are a little bit more longer. No, I'm not gonna be lazy. I'm gonna do three. Alright, I'm gonna do this one. Just gonna put it to the side. I'm gonna do this one. And then I'm gonna pull one more. That's the close to me. Let me do this. Okay, so I'm gonna put the rest of them up. And the three that we have are health, doubts, and challenges. So I'm gonna turn them to myself and read them, and then I'll show them to you at the end again. So, challenges. Unbearable situations throw you directly into God's arms if you are open. Please take over divine and guide the right actions. Please take this burden and show me your will. And then health. Allow me, divine, to be tender and accepting of my body, no matter what ailments I may have. May I always know it's doing the best that it can. Help me be a loving ally and friend to this sacred form. Ooh, that's good. Touch my heart with that one. That was beautiful. Okay, and then the last one is doubt. Offering all to the divine doesn't mean negativity never arises, but you can say, free me from this prison of doubt. I cast this burden to you. Show me your will and restore me to faith and confidence. I love that. So we have doubt, challenges, and health. So love those messages for today. Love them, love them, love them. I'm limitless. It's okay to feel human feelings, but always understanding that we can always pray and set our intentions and shift our beliefs and our attitude. Okay, so all that said, let's get into it. Okay, so I have been wanting to make this video for forever. Let me just move that so I'm in the full frame. Okay, hold on, more comfortable. Okay, so I have been wanting to make this video for quite some time. And it's funny because I'm actually getting ready to move from Houston. I'm moving back to Atlanta. That is where my immediate family is and the people I care most about. So my siblings, that's where they're at. And so moving back there to have like, that support system and to just like, you know, be back to where like I wanna say Atlanta doesn't feel like home. Houston feels more like home to me, but Atlanta feels more like home because my family is there. So hold on, let me move this over here. Actually this is this is in the way. So I'm just gonna move this. My glasses are back here. Move this over here. Okay. So yes, there's I should create a video also about the drawbacks of Houston because there are some drawbacks. Um, it's funny. So I met this woman like I think it was last year, and she and I were talking about Houston because she had relocated. What the heck just dropped on me? Something yellow just dropped on me. I hope this isn't bird poop. Lord Jesus. Um, that's interesting. Oh my gosh. I'm trying not to break down right now. Okay. So this is a garden. So nature will nature. But her and I were talking because she was, I don't know if she was from Chicago, but she had relocated to Houston from Chicago, I believe. And she was just like, she missed Chicago so much and she wanted to go back. But she was saying how Houston was kind of like the boyfriend that, like, you can't leave because there's nothing really wrong, but at the same time you want to leave because it's just like something's missing, and like I felt that. And for me, my thing that was missing, I'm just gonna just toss this ant over. I didn't want to harm him, but to me, the only thing that's really missing here is it's my siblings, and I love them so much. So, anywho, this video is about why you should move to Houston. So, Houston is such an amazing place. Houston is literally an hour from itself. So, where I currently live, I am literally 5 minutes from Houston. But when I travel into the city, it's like an hour away and I'm still in Houston. And that's still like not the extent of Houston. So, yeah, the saying that I hear so many times from people like Houstonites that Houston's an hour from Houston. Houston is really probably like an hour and a half, 2 hours from Houston because you can go like side to side, up to down, and it's really expansive. Um, so yeah, lots of space, lots of things going on. So the first thing that I want to, um, the first point that I want to make about why you should move to Houston is the level and intensity of community. So y'all, when I tell you being in Houston is such a weird experience because it's such a huge city. But at the same time, it feels so small. So hold on, let me just make sure my okay. Just had to make sure that the lighting was all the way up. So although Houston is huge, excuse me, it's still it still feels so small, and it's a very family oriented city. So there are always like family oriented things happening. There's always just like some kind of event, and it extends beyond that into it feels like a community of people who support each other. So for example, every single I think it's what, like it starts in maybe August, June, July, August, September, October. I think August. From August until like maybe December, it's hurricane season, and so usually I want to say like every other year it seems like we have a really bad hurricane season. But whenever any kind of like natural disaster happens, everybody is like all hands on deck. You can find like free water stations, you can find charging stations, you can find free food. Like people, I've seen people, like our last big storm that we had, I saw people on like my Ring app for my security camera for my house. People were saying like, oh, like come here, we're giving away like free food and things like that. I've seen people have barbecues for people to come to, like community food drives. I've seen it all. So it's really a city that not only offers so much, but it has a very deep sense of community. And another thing I want to say about that is like when you come here, a lot of times you like when you meet people, you'll maybe say to them like, oh, what are you doing this weekend? They're like, oh, I'm just like gonna be hanging with my family. A lot of people spend their free time with their families. Like this is not a place where it's just like disjointed and like people are just like hanging out with their friends all the time. Usually people's friends are their family. So it's very, very tight knit, and I just think it's so beautiful to be in a place that's like it's so big, but it still feels so connected. Um, so the next thing that I love about Houston, or why you should move to Houston, is free community events. So, oh my gosh, there is literally like before I moved here, I saw on someone's video on YouTube, they were like, there's literally always something to do. And a lot of times, like, you hear that, about different big cities, and then you get to those big cities, and it's like, yeah, there's always something to do, but it's like, it costs so much money, and like, it's just expensive. Like, no, there's free things to do, like, absolutely free, even free parking. That's another thing on my list, but I guess I'll talk about it now. But like, free parking. So, me moving here from Atlanta, I'm not used to free parking. Like, if you go to an event, good luck, because you're going to pay 20, 30, 40, $50. But here, usually, you can find free parking. Like along the streets, there's even parking lots that are free. There's a district, I forgot what it's called, and it's like where a lot of because there's so many different places you can go where there's like just hubs of like fun. But it's I think it's called Main. It's on Main Street, and it's like a whole bunch of different like lounges, restaurants, bars, clubs, everything. And there's free parking. Like there's literally free parking. Like Friday night, Saturday night, there's free parking. Now the whole place is not free parking, but there's like a substantial amount of free parking. And I like coming from Atlanta, it's unheard of. So to be able to like go out and have fun, and you don't have to spend a lot of money, is everything. So some of the events that I go to, and like depending on what you're into, I guarantee you can find it. But for me, I'm more so into like yoga and sound baths and like spiritual things like that. And they have like all of that for free. And when I tell you, it's like it's not like, oh, it's free and it's it's just like boring, or it's not high quality. Like, no, like events, like high quality, amazing events. And so they have yoga, and there's so actually several different free yoga events that happen every single week in different places in the city. So regardless of where you live, I guarantee you can find a place that like you can find a free yoga event, like free yoga outside, free yoga inside. Check out the Post, Houston. They have free Pilates. They have free yoga. Every single week they have something going on. And usually like the yoga is like once a month, the Pilates is like once a month, and then they have like other events too. But aside from that, the Houston Farmers Market, they have yoga, free yoga every single Sunday, I believe. Um, in Spring, Texas, at the City Place, I believe it's called, they have free yoga every single Saturday. I missed it this Saturday, but I try to go because it's like it's free and it's amazing, and it's like an hour to just like connect with other people, and it's just amazing. Another thing they have is meditations. So there's like free meditation events like that are happening all the time. Um, and then sound baths. So there is an amazing sound bath. I didn't know what sound baths were until I got here to Houston, and I found out about the sound bath that happens every Sunday at 2 p.m. at Menil Park, and it's led by this group called H Tech Meditations, I think. I think that's what it's called. Anywho, if you look it up on Meetup, you can find it. But it's amazing. It's literally just like it's like a sound bath meditations, and they play like these indigenous instruments, and they light incense, and it's amazing, like really really amazing. And there's probably at least like 100 people just like laid out in the grass around this beautiful tree. I think they moved the location though to inside this pyramid, which I went there before too for the sound bath, and that was pretty awesome. I will say that I personally prefer outside sound baths and meditations because there's just something about being in nature that I feel like just opens you up and grounds you at the same time than to like be in a physical like building, even though it's a pyramid and it's really beautiful too. Um, yeah. So another one, and I'm gonna mention this a little bit later as well, is kayaking. So they have free kayaking. Like for an hour, you can kayak at some of the different like parks around the area. If you want something a little bit more than an hour, well, I will say this. One day I got there really early and there was like not really a lot of people. So they were like, if you want to go out now, you can go out now. And so I kayaked for like 2 hours for free. They give you like the life vest, they give you a whistle. So that's yours to keep in case like anything happens. There's an emergency, they can come out and get you on the lake. And it's just free, like completely free. But if you want to pay and like, you can do it for 2 hours, more than 2 hours, then the River Row boathouse that's in the Woodlands is amazing. You can cover like so much of the waterway on your kayak, and it's really cheap. It's like maybe $15 for a single kayak, maybe $30 for a tandem kayak. So very, very affordable. Next thing on my list, why you should move to Houston, is free places to go. So I know I just talked about free community events, but free places to go. So there is like unlimited free things to do. Like you can go out every single weekend and not spend money. I mean, for me, it's hard because I always have to eat, and food costs money. But there's like free parking, free things to do. Like every single weekend, it's always free things to do. Like fun, free things to do. So free places to go. So of course, this place is free, and parking is free as well. So like it's completely free, and this is Mercer Botanic Garden. Um, Also, every Tuesday and Thursday they have free museum days, so you can go to like the art gallery and museum. You can go to um, the children's museum. I believe that one's free too. You can like all of the museums have free days, and it's every single week, and it's either on Tuesday or it's on Thursday, and it's free. Parking, you park in lot C. Okay, park in lot C. There's lots of street parking too, but park in lot C. Or if you're in the museum area where the art gallery is at, park in the what do you call it? Park in the parking lot that's at the the Rose Garden. Like you have to Google it because I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's a parking lot. It's huge, and you can usually find free parking there as well. And it's next to like this really beautiful park, Centennial Rose Garden, and I can't think of the name of it, but yes, anyway, and parking lot that might be parking lot C. Anywho, it's free parking and it's really close to all the museums. The ones that Most of the ones that are free, but there's other ones that are free that are in other areas, and I'm pretty sure there's free parking there too, so that it's like completely free. Hold on, move back a little bit. Okay, so free museum Tuesday and Thursday talks about that. Okay, so next thing, free parking. I mentioned that no matter what event you go to, there is free parking that you can find. And I'm not saying like, oh, you got to get there, like be one of the first people to get there to get free parking. I'm saying you get there right on time. You get there after the fact, and there's free parking. Now, this is not guaranteed, but I want to say 90% of the places that I've been to, museums, restaurants, you can always find free parking. Like, always find free parking. And I know people in certain areas that you have free parking, you might not understand where I'm coming from. But if you from places like Atlanta, where like parking costs money, like $20, $30, $40, $50, you understand what I'm talking about. Free parking is like it's gold. Okay, so next thing, why you should move to Houston. So in a world where I'm not gonna say world, the United States, where there's like so much bad publicity about police officers and oh, they smell so good. I'm sorry. A group of people just walked past me and they smell really good. But in our society where there's so much like bad publicity and news about police officers like harming people and stuff, one of the things I love about Houston is that the police has a heavy community involvement. So one of the things that's kind of concerning to me is that there are police officers at like all the public schools. So that was something that I had to get used to because like at my daughter's school when she first started, and I'm like, police officers are everywhere, and I'm like, why are the police everywhere? Like, why are they here every day? And of course, like Texas is one of the states that has a lot of higher percentage of like school, you know. So that's one of the reasons. But also having that police presence, it feels very reassuring that like if anything pops off, like they already have somebody there. But another way that the police plays a role in community involvement is that they sponsor a lot of the parks. So like this botanic garden is sponsored by one of the precincts. Um, and like you'll see them sometimes, like their trucks, you'll see them driving around. And I don't know if they're patrolling or what they're doing, but they sponsor a lot of the gardens, a lot of the parks and playgrounds. They sponsor, like, there's another botanical garden. It's not as big as this one, like, nearly as big, but it's called, what is it called? Mandolin Garden. So if you come here, check out Mandolin Garden. That one is also sponsored by a precinct, and it's beautiful. Like, it's beautiful. And these are just like public places that anybody can go to and like walk the trails and admire the beauty and like the nature, and it's all sponsored by local police officers. They also, the kayaking that I mentioned earlier, that is actually sponsored by the precinct. So like the precinct has events for like families to come to, individuals to come to, and it's completely free, and it's sponsored by the police stations. So like when I got there, there were like police officers, helping me with my vest and like telling me how to like roll in the kayak and like helping me to get inside the kayak. And so I really, really love that. There's even more events than just that. They have family campouts. There was one time I went to a park and I was going just to go walking, but there were families there that were camping and like roasting marshmallows and stuff over the bonfire, and it was all covered by the local precinct. Um, and yeah, so there's like tons of events like that where it's sponsored by the local police stations, and I just love that because like to me, that means a lot that you're to have your police officers actually involved in the community and not just like policing the communities and like arresting people and causing trouble. It's a beautiful thing. So I only have a few more. So another thing that I love about Houston is the lower home cost and larger homes. So that's all relative, depending on where you live across the United States. And one thing I will say is that the homes in Houston are not insulated properly because once upon a time Houston was not as cold. Like I always hear this from like local Houstonites who've been here for years, like the older ones. They're like it was like we never had freezes, and like all of a sudden they're like having freezes. So the homes aren't really insulated, and this goes the same way with the pipes. The pipes are outside, and so when freezes happen, usually that's why some years ago when they had that really big ice storm, people's pipes were bursting, people were dying, and everything like that because their homes are not equipped handle um, to handle like coldness like that, level of coldness. All that aside, the homes are larger. You get more square footage for your money here. This isn't relative, I want to say, to Atlanta, because there could be places that are like, you're like, oh, our homes here in Pennsylvania are, comparable. So I'm comparing this to where I moved here from, Atlanta. And in Atlanta, you get like a house that's like the size of my house. My house is like 1,600 square feet. In Atlanta, pretty good school district. In Atlanta, you get a home 1,600 square feet in a good school district, you're gonna pay like $500,000. But I paid like half of that for my home. So home prices are pretty good. Oh my gosh. So the next one, why you should move to Houston. Listen, this one can serve as its own. I can do a whole video on this one. The food is so good. So, oh my goodness. Okay, so coming from Atlanta, and I'm like, compare. No, what's the phrase? Um, Comparison is a thief of joy. That's true. But coming from Atlanta, a place where it's like, oh, good Southern cooking and good food, and it's like, and it's so diverse, and it's like, no, you need to come to Houston. The food, when the places I've eaten at in Atlanta, I've eaten at like most all of like the staples, like Mary Mac's, Hero, and like all these different places that people are like, you have to eat at. Like I've eaten at those places, and like the food is good, but I've never experienced a place I've went to in Atlanta where I'm just like, oh my gosh, like my mouth is just making love to the food. But here, oh my gosh. And then the type of food, like they have South African food, they have West African food, they have really good vegan scene. Even though this is like Texas, home of like the ribs and the barbecue and everything, really good vegan scene. Check out the Ginger Mule. Check out Kaylee's Kitchen. Really good vegan scene. And then even some of the restaurants like have lots of good vegan options. Check out Chopping Block. They have a vegan entree that's really really good, and I think they have East African food if I'm not mistaken, or West African. I can't remember. But like they have what else do they have here? Ecuadorian food and Venezuelan food. Like I'm telling, like anything you could like anything you think of. They're so like Houston is really such a diverse place, and I love that so much because it shows in the level of community, it shows in just like the cultural events and things going on, and it shows in the food, and the food is good. Okay, so the food, y'all, the food, like the food is so good. Okay, so the next one, there's lots to do. Houston, I already said that Houston's an hour from Houston. There's lots to do. Like there's unlimited things to do. Unlimited things to do. Like you will never be bored. Never be bored. Beaches. So there's lots of different beaches that you can check out. If you don't want to travel too far, you can go to Galveston or Stewart Beach, and there's lots of other ones. Jamaica Beach, and those are literally like 45 minutes an hour away, depending on traffic. And those get a little bit of like the murky Mississippi action because they are fed, I believe, from the Mississippi River. And then also, depending on if there was like a storm, there's a lot of like just dirt, soot, you know what I'm saying? That's like in the water, and it's not dirty. It's just like it's kicking up the dirt that's in the ocean. You know what I'm saying? Because like there's dirt in the ocean, so it's not going to be as clear. I will say there are times where you can go and it's clearish. Okay, it's clearish, um, but it's still fun. If you do, however, want a really crystal clear beach, you're gonna have to travel about 5, 6 hours to South Padre Islands. Also, well, South Padre is more like 6 hours. If you want to do like 4.5, 5 hours, you can go to what's it called? I can't think of the word. Uh, Anyways, there's beaches. Look at the beaches that are closest to South Padre Island, but they're like more up north and closer to Houston. You can find some crystal clear Aransas, Port Aransas. That's the one I would say. Port Aransas. You can find like it can be crystal clear sometimes, and it's beautiful. But like I said, if you want like crystal clear, you gotta go to South Padre. The sand is like clean. It's beautiful. It's literally like you're in like Florida. It's beautiful. Okay, so I have three more. Why you should move to Houston.
Really
Hold on
draw
one
the yawn
second.
making from it.
Yes, you gotta really draw up that little yawn. Little
Okay,
yawn
so another reason why you should move to Houston, okay, is that you have access to three major cities. You have access to San Antonio, you have access to Dallas Fort Worth, and then you have access to Austin. Each one of those cities is no more than 3.5 hours away, and each one of those cities has its own nightlife, has its own um, museums and art galleries and like just events and things like that. So there's when I say like you will never be bored. Like Texas is like its own country, okay? And so even if you're just like okay, you're living in Houston, you're like, oh, I don't like the nightlife here. Go to San Antonio. San Antonio is so beautiful, so beautiful. Okay, like I know it's like you have the um, like the waterway there or whatnot, and you think like, oh, okay, it's just the waterway. Like, no, it's the people are so kind, the food is so good. I remember one of the restaurants they let our dog come inside and gave him like a water bowl, and we're sitting inside the restaurant. It's really beautiful. It's a nice little date spot, nice little family spot. San Antonio, Riverwalk. Um, I'm pretty sure there's much more going on in San Antonio too. There's caves within a few hours of Houston. I like to go caving, spelunking, they call it. I enjoy that. And so, again, there's just so much to do. Like, you have access to all these cities around you, like a nice, quick weekend trip, 3.5 hours at most. Like, Dallas Fort Worth, I think, is the furthest away at 3.5 hours. But I think San Antonio from Houston is like 2.5 to 3 hours. Austin is maybe like 2.5 hours. So it's 2.5, 3 hours. It all depends on traffic, but it's nothing is like more than like 3.5 hours, I would say. The drivers. So there's good and there's not so good. So the not so good, I'm just gonna say really quickly because this video is not really about the not so good, but the not so good is that people will pack their trucks with like dangerous things and they will not secure them. So you will see somebody on the freeway and they will have like wood and like metal things like all in the back of their truck. Everybody drives trucks here. And so like flatbed trucks and SUV trucks and stuff. And so you're just like, oh my goodness, let me just go a little bit to the right. And then you will see jokes about it too on like social media about how unsafe that is. But the good about the drivers is now I hear a lot of people say that the drivers here are like aggressive and everything. I just be like, I never experienced that. Well, I have, but like not to the level as it is in Atlanta. Like if you've ever driven in Atlanta, you're just like, oh my gosh, am I gonna die today? But here, I love it because the people, when you're merging, people let you over. Like I don't, I think there's been like I can count on one hand how many bad like instances or experiences that I've had with other drivers. Overall, other drivers are pretty courteous. They let you over. Um, Not really that dangerous. Like there are some. I like to think of like if I experience a dangerous driver, I'm like they probably came from Atlanta, Florida. But overall, I would say that the drivers here are pretty good. And also traffic. So traffic is a thing, you know, around like rush hour. But at the same time, it's nowhere in comparison to Atlanta. And that could be because Atlanta is such a smaller city, like as far as like area, but it's like so many people for like the small area. Whereas like Houston is like lots more area and like there are a lot of people, like there's lots and lots of people, but it's like more area for them to like be in. And so like there's literally been like I don't know, it's really weird because like when they have like pride or when they have like a really big event that's happening downtown and I'm like I'm driving into downtown and I'm just like why is the freeway not blocks like you know like bumper to bumper, like why is it easy for me to get into the city? um and like any traffic is like minimal. So there have been times where there has been like you know intense traffic, but overall it's not as bad as like other big cities in my opinion. And then the last thing is why you should move to Houston. It's just beautiful. In the springtime, there are wildflowers that grow everywhere on the side of the road, on the side of the freeway, in parks. They just grow naturally, like all different colors, like purples, orange, yellow, all different colors, and it's so beautiful. And they just grow. They just grow. And so when you're driving, it's not just like, oh, okay, it's just the side of the road. We're just like on the freeway, and it's just like hideous. Like no, there's like wildflowers, and it's just so beautiful. So I hope that I've convinced someone to move to Houston. It is in the least, it's just a beautiful place to visit. It's a beautiful place to live for any length of time. I've been here for 3 years, and I don't regret it, not even 1%. Like it's been such a beautiful experience, and I truly will miss Houston. And yeah, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I don't know everything because Houston is huge, but I will do my best to answer any questions that you have. And if you have been kind of like, you know, like if you have been struggling on your decision to move to Houston, but it's been something that you've been thinking about, I say do it. Like you always can move back to where you currently live. You always can move to a different location. And what do you if you don't have anything to lose? Like Houston's amazing, and I will leave you at that. Alrighty.